Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy FRE, $ H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoyWay. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And welcome back to another town hall. Now, for those that don't know, for those that are new to the channel, for those who may not understand why I have these town halls or why we talk about so many intense subjects in these town halls, when I decided to make my YouTube channel, I said I want to show people how they can live their life to the maximum by showing them how I live my life to the maximum. But I also want to inspire others to achieve greatness. Recently, there's been a lot of disagreements, whether it's the Kanye West situation or the things that occur in the community that make me feel as though there's a need for people to really look back into history and to really understand how we got here and understand the reason why we are so lost. And when I say we, I don't just mean black people. I mean we as people of minority are lost. And I'm gonna use some examples that I cited online. I'll show you guys in a minute. I'll share the screen in a minute. But I kind of want to just give you a history and give you an understanding of how what I consider the European mindset, and I consider the European mindset the mindset and belief that there's only one right way to do things, and that's one right and one wrong way to do things. I'm a person who always believes that everyone has their own perspective. There's no right and there's no wrong. And I'm going to show you tonight through history that in the European mindset, in the European history, in the history we know, the European history, I'm going to show you multiple times where Europe not conquered, colonized, and then destroyed all the books, destroyed all of the history, not just of the black culture, not just of the Indian culture, not of the Native American culture, not of the African culture, but of all cultures, and put the victor's perspective in history. Because I feel as though once we know this, I feel as though there's a chance, it might not work, but there's a chance that maybe we'll stop arguing over petty things like wearing a shirt that says white lives matter, or wearing a shirt that says black lives matter, or wearing or people getting upset at other people for going overseas and doing stuff, or people getting upset at other people because they're getting paid to coach people to do other stuff. All this stuff is minute in the grand scheme of things. And the more time we focus on this stuff, the more stuff is going to stay the same, if not get worse. So now that I got that, I'm gonna shout a couple people out in the room real quick, and then I'm gonna bring up the thing because I don't want to make this too long and stretched out. I feel as though it's needed, but I'm not the type of person to sit here and preach to you all day. So let's get shout out to people in the room. Green, what's going on, man? We live, baby. Marcus Leonard, what's up? What it do? Yeah. HC, Howard Cooper, what it is? Romy Rome, I see you. I can dig it. All right. So hope you guys hit the like button, but I feel as though this needs to be up here. You know, I told myself when I first started my YouTube channel, I'm not going to have one of them channels that's just all fun. And I know it kind of hurts the channel a little bit because, you know, you'll see all these great trips, you see the travels, you see the ladies, and then people don't want to hear this, but it's a necessity. So let me share the first thing what I want to tell you guys. The first thing I want to bring up is maybe the process that they call burning books. And I'm going to share the screen with you guys and put myself in a little corner right here. And I'm going to read the purpose of burning books. Now, the process of burning books is it refers to the ritual destruction by fire of books or other written materials, usually carried out in a public context. The burning of books represents an element of censorship and usually proceeds from a cultural, religious, or political opposition to the materials in question. Now, to break this down a little bit more in layman terms, basically, if you don't get with the program, everything that doesn't go with the program gets erased. Whether it's the Bible, whether it's the Quran, whether it's Jehovah's Book, whether it's any type of religion, whatever conquered the time of that time or any type of history. Like, for example, and like I said, we could have a conversation about this, but I feel as though because of the I want to say seriousness of the conversation, I want to give you some examples to show you that it's just not just pulling it out the head. Pause. In the mid 16th centuries, Franciscan missionary burned nearly all of the Mayan written books in the effort to eradicate their religion. Today, only 3 or 4 Mayan codices remain. 3 of them named for the European cities that they were kept. When I went to Mexico, and I actually went to the Yucatan Peninsula, and I went to Temple Chichicalang, and they explained all this, I kind of got a sense of upsetness, and they was upset, and I can understand why. Because if your history is full of truth, but your truth is not accepted by the victor because they won, even though your truth may have been more stronger and more closer to the truth than theirs is, then they want to get rid of it so there's no proof that happened. So this is what happened in the Mayans history. They burnt villages, they destroyed people, they did all this, and this is Spain. This is Spain, y'all. Spain is in Europe, for those that don't know. Let's go again. Let me see. Okay, well, let me see. In India, right? In India, the British Raj, period of the British rule over the Indian subcontinent, from 1858 until 1947, they burned books. They got rid of history. They got rid of the leaders. They put their own leaders in charge, and then they ran the country from 1858 to 1945. They spent colonizing the place. Once again, the European mentality. How long did Britain rule over China? 156 years. From 1839 to 1985. No, 1985, 19 something, excuse me. So I guess it's like, let me see. Did the British conquer China? The British Navy defeated Chinese technology superior weapons, treated. So basically 156 years. I gotta figure out what time it was. I thought this was time down here. I mean the date down here, but 156 years. During that course, what did they do? They colonized. They burnt books. They got rid of any information that was before. Again, this is where I'm going to get to why having the European mentality is detrimental to finding out what the real truth is. Because to think that there's only one perspective, because that's how history is could prove to be very detrimental in the future as it is now. But let's keep going. We got a couple more, and then we'll talk some more. I just want to bring all the stuff up before we go into more detailed talk, and I have some of you guys talking. Give me some of your opinions, and we'll go to that. Okay. So Japan was one of the places that I believe Britain was not able to colonize. But I do believe that there was a period. It says from 16. When did Britain colonize Japan? Since 1613, William first in Japan. So East Indian Company opened up the second formal, emulating its European rivals. Okay, so yeah, so Japan wasn't one that Britain couldn't colonize, but Britain put its schooling and influence and teachings on it. So basically, Japan ended up colonizing themselves with European material, with Britain's material. You can find more about that also there. And the last one I want to go is it's one more I want to do. Let's see. Okay, Africa. Oh, actually, 2 more. So the scrambling for Africa, also called the partition for Africa or conquest of Africa, was the invasion, annexation, division, and colonization of most of Africa by Western European powers. European mentality. During a short period known as the New Imperialism, between 1881 and 1914. What did they do? They burned books. They got rid of history. They changed what was known to the world from the history. So when you have people who argue points to say, well, this is what it says in history. This is what they say in geography. This is what they say this way. This is what they say this way. You really have to go back and see that this is all just the perception of the victor, because the victor got rid of all of the history for you to even be able to cite or quote that. And any history that's able to be cited or quoted is something that was placed during the colonization period. Something that would back up the beliefs of the colonizer or of the victor. And this goes on today. You see, I go back into history to show you what goes on today. And we're going to get to what goes on today and get to why I feel as though all these things going on with people going against each other and being upset is so frivolous when you look at the grand scheme of history and how things are. And I'm going to show you how technology, things like this, things like YouTube, as much as I don't like sometimes how YouTube really makes it hard for us Black creators, especially with a different message. Not a Black creator that's doing everything that every other creator, but somebody like myself who's doing something completely different. I fully appreciate and understand that YouTube is doing something that is going to change the future for all of us. Instagram also, but YouTube because it's more longer form content. And we can now have a record, even with some of the censors or favoritism that occurs, we can at least have a record of something that's going to last a long time. The last one I'll go into is the Nazi burning. Nazi burning is a book is a campaign conducted by the German Student Union. Books burned in Nazi Germany and Austria in 1930s. And the books targeted for burning was those viewed as being a subversive or representing ideologies that oppose Nazism. These include books written by Jewish, communist, socialists. This is what I mean. This is why the European mindset, and I know a lot of people will say, oh, white. No. You can't say white because white is different depending on where you come from. But European mindset, oh, you can say that because European mindset has proven over history to be non-inclusive. It didn't include the Indians. It didn't include the Blacks. It didn't include the Jewish. It didn't include the Native Americans. It didn't include the Chinese. It was a colonization, a takeover, and rewriting of history. So whenever I say a European mindset, I'm focusing on that mindset that there's only one way to do something, which is not correct. Everyone has a different perspective. Everyone should be allowed to have a different perspective. And through technology, I feel as though we're getting that chance. We're getting our chance. And like I said, this is not just Black people. When I say Black, I mean Black United States citizens because we wasn't accepted as United States citizens. You got to remember, we were only considered 3/4 of men for a long time. 3/4 of a man for a long time. But it's just something that I feel as though we have to talk about. And I feel as though that's enough of the history of everything. I just wanted to bring that up to show you that not only it's not just us Black folks, it's around the world that the European mindset has corrupted what people consider the truth or what people consider the correct or a correct way of living, when there truly is no correct way of living. It's just what the majority agrees upon is what's accepted. But when the majority is agreeing upon something based on the fact that their knowledge of the history has been destroyed time over time by European mentality, can we really go on what we know? Is that a smart thing? Or should we go on what we feel? All right, let me get I got enough of that. So let me close this out and then we go to the chat and we'll talk for a little bit if you guys want to talk. 15 minutes in, we got 17 people still in the room. Hope you hit the like button. Let me close this real quick. All right, cool. Hope I got that out. All right, y'all. Let me get to your comments. Just wanted to go into my little soliloquy. I didn't want to mess up the train of thought. I'll go to your comments and then we'll talk about how technology is changing that, more about what I'm doing on my channel to change that, or to just show a different way, because we can never change history. We can never change history. We'll never be able to go back and change history. Unless there's a time machine, which I don't ever think is going to happen, we won't be able to go back and change history. But what we can do is create a future that's more inclusive for everybody. And that's what I'm doing on my channel. I'm creating a future that's more inclusive. As you guys see, when I travel around the world, I make the Black Man's Guide to World Travel. It's not just because it's for Black people, but I made sure I named it something that can be representative of something different than the European mindset of history. The Black Man's Guide to World Travel. You see, Black people, when I say Black, I mean United States Black. And the reason why I say that is because if you're from Africa, whatever country you're from, that's where you're from. If you're from the Caribbean, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Panama, anywhere, you from Colombia, you were able to identify with your country. But us United States Blacks were never accepted as citizens in this country. To this day, we still have mass incarceration. We still have we're the minority of the minority, but the most people in jail. We're as Blacks are still treated to some part as second-class citizens. So because of that, I feel as though I want to use that because we as Blacks that went through, I feel as though this is my perspective, we went through the worst form of slavery there was. You see, because we went through slavery of not only the physical, but the mind. That's still going to today. We were taught in a way that is still going to today. And the only way you can get a chance to notice and change is if you have the financial freedom to go out and be able to find this out. Because if you're broke, if you don't have the money to do anything, then you just have to go by what the system says. So I feel as though it's my responsibility to come at least talk about this as a person who doesn't have to worry about how much I'm going to get paid on YouTube or if they demonetize this video. I feel as though it's a necessity for me to have this conversation and, hopefully converse with you guys. All right, so let's see what we got here. Where do we stop? Okay. John Wayne in the building. What's going on, John Wayne? What it do? Prospect Empire. What's good, fam? Omar Suarez. Oh man, listen. I hope you guys heard what I said. I won't keep you guys too long on this live. It probably won't go an hour. I'll put the link in the room if anybody wants to come up and speak more on it. But you do have to have a video. You have to have a video. Because it's too risky. If I say that you can have a picture up and you change your picture to something crazy, and then I got to try to take it down before YouTube takes the whole video down, then it makes it hard. But if you got a video up, we can talk. Also, a lot of people say, hey, if it's not about the money, why do you monetize the videos? Because if you don't monetize your videos on YouTube and it doesn't get the green check, YouTube won't push it out to the people who can get it. So that's pretty much the reason why I monetize my videos. If YouTube, mind you, I did not have a monetization on my channel for 10 years. I was doing this for 10 years, never got paid for it. For the last 3 years, I've been getting paid for it. So you guys should understand that this is truly from the heart. This is truly something I feel that needs to be spoken. D, what's good, man? Basically, divide and conquer. It's the way of life, man. It's the way of life. And here's the thing. You have 3 options. I feel as though you have at least 3 options. You can get mad about it and try to go fight. But guess what? They got more guns. They got more money. They got more history, and they got more countries that agree with what they want in the highest economical country. So I don't feel as though that's best. You can run away and not do nothing and just leave everything hanging. And all of our ancestors that fought and did so much for us to be in this predicament now, just looking at you like, dang, we did all that, and all you did was run away. You can sit and do nothing and just take it and say, oh, there's nothing I can do. And then again, our ancestors like, yo, we did all this for you to just give up? Or you could build financial wealth. You can understand, you can travel the world to understand how the entire world works, not just the world in the United States. And then you could build empires other places while still holding a foothold here, because the United States is going to be the #1 economy for a long time. And this right here, this inflationary era that we're going through right now, where people think it's going to be the point where the United States is going to fall off, that's not it. The United States dollar is at a 30 to 40 year high right now. Because when times are bad, that's when the level of poverty switches, where the most people drop off and the middle class is destroyed. It's the same thing around the world. It's around the globe. You know, where the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, where the United States goes up and a lot of second and third world countries go down because the economies can't afford US dollars. It's an economical thing. And until you economically are financially free, it's going to be hard for you to see past that. Freddie Mac, up top Shank. Well, there's a lot of people here for this conversation. I didn't think there's going to be that many people here for this conversation. I just figured I'll put it up there and people watch it later. Romy Rome, Divide and Conquer is one of the top trickiest, top trickers they've been using for centuries, man. But the fact, even with, you know, like I said, there's black people in the States that never knew there was black people in Colombia until we started going. They never knew black people was in Brazil at a greater amount than in the United States until people started showing them that. And this is why I feel as though travel is a must. And we need YouTube. We need YouTube. We need Instagram. We need Facebook. We need technology, because technology brings out the money in people. And when people see money, they'll let information get out. Now, the people who are really in charge, because I heard a story where even Putin said, and the Russian president said, you know, Trump came in and Trump and him had a talk, but he didn't really listen to Trump. Then Trump went out, and then the people with the black suits and the money came behind and said, well, this is how things are going to go. I mean, if you don't feel as though that's really, if you feel as though the president of the United States, especially when we have a Biden right now, if you think the president of the United States has any power on what really goes down, then you might want to rethink and look back at history, like I've been telling people. You might really want to go back and change this, because it's not the way it looks. Things are definitely not the way it is. It's like a parent. The government is this. A government is a parent telling you as a kid that there's a Santa Claus, and you believe it because the presents are there. Until you get old enough or financially stable enough and traveled enough to understand that, holy crap, this is just a game or a facade. And then you can start thinking, okay, now what can I do? So yeah, man. If you can rewrite history, you can control the future. Nothing, man. Romy Rome, you on the road, man. Romy Rome is on the road. D, what's going on, man? What it do? What it do? Real estate, location, world manipulation, distraction. See, I feel as though once you understand once you're financially free, you can finally really explore and understand what's going on. But I do feel as though people need to understand what's going on a little bit so they can have a reason to be financially free. Because, you know, with the way it is, like we have a bunch of distractions, especially as people of a minority, which they put in front of us that distract the majority of people. You're not going to save the majority of people. The majority of people are not going to listen. We got 28 people in the room right now. If I did a video about how the girls looked in Sassuolo, I did a video how the girls in Brazil, I'd have 150. And sometimes I do those videos because I feel that. But we need these videos like this also. And yeah, let's see. Forms of distraction, divide and conquer. Yeah, listen, man. And then This is one reason why even you'll never see me, never on my channel, see me talk about another person on YouTube, whether it's a content creator like myself or a YouTuber. You'll never see that in a negative light. You know why? Especially a black one, because I know history. I know history, and I know going against each other, it's never benefited anybody. So I'd rather just speak my message, and those that do understand it, hey, maybe we'll have enough of us so we can go build an empire somewhere else. And then our kids can learn from what we did on YouTube or whatever it's called in the future, or Instagram or Facebook or Rumble or whatever is going to be there. That's why, like I said, even though sometimes I get upset at YouTube because of the limitation they do on the what I feel as though was a kind of a bias because they don't have black people monitoring other black people who understand the culture. Context is hard to understand if you're not from the culture. Even though that's an issue, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else explaining my message because YouTube is giving us a platform to share with the world, man. Somebody hit me up the other day and said, yo, your message, your black man's guys in France. People never see what I'm doing. They see the girls. They want to know about the chicas. They want to know about the trips. They want to see the cars. They want to see the new places in Miami. But little by little, I'm still showing people a way. With the I felt as though it was only right to wear that during this conversation, man. Ghost. I felt as though it was only right, man. Like I said, I also feel like if Malcolm X would have traveled earlier, he would have went about things a different way. Like I don't feel as though the way he went about things was correct. Well, there's no right or no wrong, remember. But I don't think the way Malcolm X went about the things in the beginning was beneficial for everybody in a way that we could utilize the information we had. But once he went to Mecca and he understood how it wasn't a black white thing, it wasn't a Muslim or Islam Christian thing, but what it really was is just a victor conqueror thing where you separate people, you divide people, and you keep them looking at why I'm different from this person or why this person has something and I don't have it, and then they never really see the real problem. When he came back from Mecca, oh, he knew. But I started traveling since I was 18, internationally since I was 24. I'm 38 now. So I've had a couple years to really look around and see the world from the outside looking in. When the U.S. catches a cold, the world catches a flu. That's a fact, D-Dub. Freddie Mac must go four corners and travel. You're right. Blacks is everywhere. Once you leave, you find out more. Shout out to I Am Marwa. Shout out to H Live. Shout out to Check and Effect. I mean, I just shout out to Barber World TV. Shout out to, I mean, these are people that, and there's a lot more creators I can shout out, but I shouted out them first because these are the creators that go places and do stuff to show more. Like I said Marwa because I seen a video where I Am Marwa was in India, showing that there's black people in India. I seen a video in Ace where Ace was in Mexico, showing, or Argentina, showing black people there. And you see me, I'm in Cuba, showing that Cuba has black people also. You see Barber World TV, he's over showing the same thing in South Africa and showing the different. Listen, technology is going to change the future to the point where the victor can no longer just erase history. Yes, they can try to censor us, but there's a limit to what you can censor. Like they was able to, and like I said, I'm not 100% behind anybody, but they was able to censor Andrew Tate for a reason. They was able to censor Sneeko for a reason, because the way that you present something can be censorable, but the message is not always censorable. If you have people who come and explain it the correct way, or come in and say it in a way that is interpretable and not offensive to other people. Not to say that it's the right way. It's just a way that it can be taken more civilly understood, or it can be understood a little bit better than something more aggressive or something more like that. Everybody, like I said, I don't have that European mindset. I won't say this person's way is wrong, never. But I'll say my perspective of how to go about doing it is different. Knowledge is definitely power. They don't want us to be great. Like I said, you have what, and you have to understand it from always. Why would someone who has over time, and I took it all down, so I can't show you again. You have to go back to the beginning. Why would someone who over time has consistently conquered, burn books, burn history, conquered, burn books, burn history? Like they make it seem it's easy for them to. It's easy for people to say, "Oh, it's a black thing," and blood. It's not, but it's not. They did it in India. They did it in China. They did it in Mexico. They did it in Colombia. They did it in Brazil. They did it in the United States. I mean, this is a repetitive pattern. But you can't. But you can get mad. But what does getting mad do? You got to get intelligent. You got to become financially free. Because until you're financially free, you can be canceled. Until you're financially free, until you travel and you go outside and see yourself, I'll say it again. In my perspective, you never really know who you are until you leave where you live and see yourself from another country. See how you are treated in another country. You can stay in the United States all your life and not really know who you are. We almost at the end. I don't want to go too much longer preaching. I'll put the link in the room one time to see if anybody wants to come up. Once again, if you do want to join the live stream, you have to have a video camera, and do not try not to curse. Rather, I don't say tell you what you not do, but try not to curse because I want to monetize this so it can be shipped out to a lot of people. So I'll put the link in the room one time, and we'll wait like 5 or 10 minutes. Nobody come in, and we'll end the live. Black Cam TV, what it do, man? What's going on? Freddie Mac, he says, your video has opened my eye. Your videos have opened my eyes to see that the world is much bigger than the United States. It is, man. And like I said, I don't feel as though I need to go everywhere. And even though, yes, I have the Black Man's Guide to World Travel that's going viral. It's a lot of stuff. I tell people all the time, I do this so I can inspire others to do something. So if I haven't been somewhere, like a lot of people will ask me, when you gonna go to Sosua and do the Black Man's Guide? And I say, well, I don't know if I'm gonna go there because there's a lot of brothers there that do it well. If you want to see some people in Sosua, go to Flip Flop, go to Telemade Dreams, go to Barber World TV, go to Jay Escape from Sosua, go to Check and Effect, it's a lot of people in Sosua that or in Dominican Republic that can teach that. I don't have to be the one that always tell people because I feel as though it's not just about me. It's about all of us. It's about the message. It's about understanding history and making sure you don't repeat yourself. Z1, yo, what up, man? What's going on? Let's see. That's the link, yeah. John Wayne said, it's so crazy. When I come back home from traveling overseas, haters of my own race hate me. Why do you go overseas and see all those Spanish people? They're Black just like us. Like I said, I personally will never get mad at somebody like that because they don't teach this stuff in school. And until a person is financially free and travels, and mind you, I always say financially free first and travels because if you just travel and you don't have the money, you don't get to move around and do it. That's why when I travel, I don't do, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just my perspective of how I travel. I don't do the resorts. I don't do the going to a place with a bunch of my friends and we all just hang with each other. No, if I'm with my friends, we're interacting with the people that live there. We're being inclusive of the environment that we're in because I feel as though that's the only way you could then bring it back to the people of the states and show them, hey, look at me in Playa del Carmen. Yo, you remember how they said Mexico was so dangerous, or how they said you go to Medellin and you're gonna get robbed? Well, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. That's me on video. In Medellin, in Cartagena, in Brazil, in Dubai. But look, I'm no different from you guys. I'm not super tall, I'm 5'9". I'm not the sexiest man. I'm handsome. You see my hairline? Come on, I'm you. And that's what I bring back. So man, like I said, I can never be upset at a person who's in the state saying doing something like saying, "Oh, I can't stand you passport people," or "I can't stand you dating coaches," or "I can't stand you black men," or "I can't stand you black women," or "I can't stand you people who date outside your race." I can't be one of those people because I know the world outside of the world I live. And because I know that it's because we don't have a lot of education. They don't teach it in the United States. Education of our history. Because they got rid of it. They erased it. They burned the books. And it's not just black people. It happened to Indian people. It happened to Native Americans. It happened to Chinese people. It happened to Jewish people. It happened to Mexican people, Colombian. Bro, it's the same European mindset that did all this. So for me to get mad at somebody because they don't know, never. Never. When Malcolm X went to Mecca, when Malcolm X went to Mecca, he said it himself, he was surprised that black and white Muslims praying together. His views became a little different, and that's one thing I'm happy that we learned. And I had to go out and do it. I'm not giving myself all of, like, well, I guess I am, but I want to make sure that the kids of the future, the people of the future, the older people of the future, don't have to do what I did and learn the hard way, going to places by yourself, getting in situations, going to going to Trinidad, not knowing that going to Trinidad, not knowing that I can't wear army fatigues because the people that rob people from army fatigues getting put in a holding cell, escaping, going, bro. It's a lot of stuff that I had to find out the hard way, but I don't want people else to know. So yeah, if he, like I said, if he would have went a little bit earlier, like he was able to go and start traveling the world at me like 24. Can you imagine what would happen? D, what's going on? Flyboy Way, I see you studying in Egypt. I do want to get to Egypt. I have a good friend at my job who says I can go over there and stay at his condo and stuff because he's from Egypt. But I definitely plan on getting to Egypt. I mean, like I said, I can only move, as fast as I can. Facts, spread love, not hate. Listen, even if you don't love the person, like you see me, I'm always a nice person. You might not even love the person, but don't hate them. Just understand that they're not. I don't want to say not educated. They're miseducated. Just understand they're miseducated on history. You don't have to love them, but don't hate them don't hate them because you understand now. If you're watching this, you understand that they're miseducated on the history of the world, not just black history, but the world's history, because it was colonized, it was destroyed, and a new perspective was put in place. And because of technology, I could show you. I showed you that fast. I showed you in the beginning of it. We almost at the end. Love gets love back. Definitely. Britain colonizes. Ghost. If you seen this from the beginning, Ghost. If you haven't seen this video from the beginning, when we end this, go back to the beginning and you'll see exactly what you're saying. Darkness, what's going on? All right, man. Like I said, I didn't want to make this video too long. We went 40 minutes in. I'll probably try to post some shorts. I got some activities. I don't really have any activities. I gotta edit some film this weekend, but I'll probably try to drop you some shorts and something a lot more different tomorrow. But I mean tomorrow and Sunday. But as you guys know, I'm going to Miami on the 17th for the week. I may have to go to Atlanta if things work out, which who knows, if things work out in my favor for this thing that might be positive for me for the channel. If it works out on Wednesday, I'll fly to Atlanta and I'll get back from Atlanta to Miami on Thursday. If the thing doesn't work out for me to go into Atlanta, then I'm most likely going to go to Medellin, and I'll just stay in Medellin from like Tuesday to like, I might even stop by Cartagena to pick up some art. So I'll know more about that next week. By next Wednesday, I should know for certain. By next Wednesday or next Friday, I should know for certain if I'm going to do the Medellin, Cartagena. If I do go to Cartagena, I'll go and stay overnight. But I don't know if it's going to be on the weekend. But I only really want to go because I want to buy some art from Cartagena. But I mostly will be in Medellin just relaxing. Or even Cali. I just haven't decided yet. But let me see. Have I been to New Zealand? Not yet, man. Not yet. I don't even really know what area around there I've been to. Maybe Iceland, but no, I haven't been to New Zealand yet. Nate, what's going on? After 2 nights, after 2 nights of chicken and buccaneers, I ended up kicking it with the Me Amigo boys. Okay, they just kids in the projects plotting licks. Gotta respect it. Listen, I try to tell people, man, when you go around the world, if you don't speak the language, it doesn't matter because all of us are the same. We all went through, as I said, a similar history of colonization. I definitely will, man. I appreciate everybody for coming in the room. Hope you guys hit the like button on the way out. Just wanted to give you guys a little history lesson. It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why. Just check out the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Oh, don't forget, y'all. Money Talk Mondays is back. So y'all make sure y'all here Monday when we talk about Money Talk Mondays. All right, peace.